Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard we were actually supposed to go over the race tonight.
One time I'll be able to. Just make sure it doesn't be that too far. Just take it off.
I only got one.
Would you turn on the speakers?
We both left.
Yeah. I wondered where it went.
Carol.
I know I printed enough off. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna go through the packet if I figured out the reason.
Everybody semi-organized? I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Becker?
Here.
Clark? Here. Lovelace?
Here.
Stanton?
Here.
Surkey?
Here.
Tyler?
Here.
Becker?
We have one correction to the agenda to make. New business, C, new sanding truck. Need a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I'll make a move to approve amended agenda.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported, any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Motion to approve the minutes of the November 14th regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Support.
Been moved and supported, any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, motion is carried. Public comment? Mr. Bailey,
No, I'm good.
you're good? I know you are. Reports, Scott.
Thank you. Hopefully everyone got a chance to look at the report. Pretty typical month. As December comes, it gets a little busy with extra traffic and stuff like that. Everything's highlighted, or at least listed on the left-hand side there. Other events, we've been working pretty diligently on ordinances. It usually kind of comes in waves, and whenever we have some time or some availability, we kind of hit those kind of hard. Just hit it about another 25 or so, just in the last wave. He's got most of those cleaned up. So as those kind of trickle down to, just a small handful, we'll work on another set of them. Just depends on how things are going in the village. So, school keeps us pretty busy with other stuff. And then the last thing, we were supposed to have a formal hearing today on the ordinance issue with the burning complaint that's ongoing. That was supposed to go today, got adjourned to sometime in January. So I would hope that at some point we'll be in court and take care of that part. So, and I think the other one was supposed to be scheduled for tomorrow. I'm not sure where that one went. So.
I haven't heard one way or the other.
24th of January.
It's 24th of June.
But I have the suspicion that it's just going to keep getting pushed up, and so I'll keep you guys up to date and report it. I've been in contact with the village attorney's office, and we've been doing things back and forth to kind of prepare for that. So, and I can kind of explain to you one-on-one sometime if you guys need to know more details. So. Any questions?
Anything for Scott? We're good?
Great, thanks.
Sam?
Hopefully everybody has a copy of DPW operations. On there, you'll kind of notice number 6, we repaired 2 more of the LED lights in town. That brings it to a total of 7. And what we do is we take them down, take them back to shop, put new guts inside them, test them, go back, put them back up. Number 9, marking lots of missed digs. That dig that's going on over on Rushton Road right now has taken a ton of time from us. And what that is they're upgrading the gas main. Last year they took it from Brian's house, run it to Ellsworth. Well, now they're gonna take it from Brian's house, run it back into Old State and tie it into the main right there. And that just happened to be where we had a half a dozen sewer lines, half a dozen water mains. It's just a mess for us over there. I wasn't here at last month's meeting, but you guys Brian had contacted me about a new street light over by Old Lumber. That has been taken care of, and it will probably not be till March before we get the new light. They gotta sign a contract for the street lights, so that has to be amended. Then they have to put a work order in to put the new street light up. Then they gotta put a work order in to get an estimated cost of the new street light before you guys sign it to send it back to say, yes, it's been paid for, and then they gotta put a work order in order to get a crew to come and put the light up, so. He told me he figured about the middle of March before that will be done. And I'll fill you in on the rest on the plow truck when that time comes. Any questions?
Are they gonna rip into the pavement anywhere?
So far, all they've done is cut a 4x4 hole on Thomas Street to dig up the water main, just so they didn't drill into it. And over in the parking lot on the south side of Old State Road, I believe that's where they're tying into the gas main. I believe it's underneath the parking lot right there. Where the docks are setting, yeah, somewhere right there. And it will only be a probably 4x4, 6x6 hole, and they have to hot patch it back in. So they'll have a crew come down and do all that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Correspondence, we did get a letter from the Health Department of Northwest Michigan regarding their grant. Jennifer Hodges from Gordy Frazier's contacted me and said, since we've had success with them in the past, would we like to try to add to our sidewalk grant that we received this year? And I said, it's worth a shot. So she was gonna write the letter of intent and pull together the application information, so by January 4th deadline. So if we can pick up a few more monies through that grant, I thought it was worth a shot. That's all the correspondence that I have. Committee reports. Lyle?
I don't have anything to say, I'm on top of everything, sounds like.
Leila? Stuart?
No, got nothing.
Bill?
Nope, it's got covered pretty much everything.
Matt, welcome.
Thank you, I have nothing to report, but we'll have a meeting with my committee here soon.
Okay. Very good. Brian, finance?
I just got a couple things. Now that winter's back again tonight, Sam and I have been talking the last few weeks about we're having an issue uptown again with people not removing snow from their sidewalks. And it seems like we go through this every winter. That I think people need to realize that they're liable if somebody would get injured on their sidewalks. I don't know, did we send letters to everybody last year on business owners or? Well, I just wanted to bring that with it. When we had that slippery a few weeks ago, we had a lot of issues in town again. Second thing is last week in the Annual Review, there was a nice article that Linda Gallagher wrote about looking for a doctor. I have received I have been in contact with some people about possibly, well, this person might be interested in, but at least a lot of people saw the article and we've got some positive feedback from it. Today they was up cleaning the doctor's office out and Sam, the guy, shut the water off, so it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen real soon. I talked to Lyle tonight on the phone, Lyle Collins, before the meeting. His cancer came back a little bit. He got put on a different pill, but the doctor said that he should be good to go by the time campground opens in the spring. He'll keep us updated this month. And that's all I have until we talk about the budget. Thank you.
Okay. Rob, Parks?
Let's see, campground 2018 revenue, $76,542. As compared to 2017 was $82,000, so we're down 6% from last year. I looked at all the sites and the revenue generated on each site. It looks like we're down a little bit on the waterfront. And the ones where we gained the greatest amount of revenue were the ones on top of the hill. So in the future, we should start thinking about somehow making some long-term sites additional in the hill, up on top of the hill. I'm going to have a campground meeting where possibly do some modifications to the center sites too, because some of them aren't even being utilized their fullest potential. And if we could somehow manipulate that to get some greater revenue, that would be really nice. The other thing on campground, that's going to be under the, when we go over the budget here, I'd like to add some money to one thing on that too. And that's it.
Okay. Under my report, everybody got a bright green sheet that shows the committee appointments, and nothing has changed this year other than Matt has been inserted where we had the vacancies. So everybody's job is roughly going to be the same. And then the contact information is on that. Friday, we have a graduation ceremony, for lack of a better term. It is an invitation only. It is for the Rising Tide program that we've been involved with through the state. And the Governor Snyder will be here with a contingent of others who have been invited by their side. All of the council are invited. It'll last about an hour. I will be here about 1:45, and you can probably leave by no later than 2:15, I would guess. So it'll be short and sweet. But again, if you have not been invited, I'm sorry, but that was their request, to keep it as small as possible. The press have been invited, so they will be here. We'll get press out of it. But they'll just, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do other than congratulate us on completing the program, which we really haven't, but we are working on it. So we won't be completing the program until the pavilion is built by the end of this next summer. So beyond that, everybody received a chamber letter, and I think that's all that I had. So we'll move on. We have bills of $70,405.64 of prepaids, $6,291 for payroll, $10,720.76 payables, total $87,417.40. That includes a $59,370 bill that we had to pay for the docks, which was from our CDBG monies that came from the Rising Tide project. So, even though the total looks big, we didn't have to pay for 27, 28, 25,000, some 27,000 of it was just out of our money. So, need a motion to approve the treasurer.
Make motion, pay the bills.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Okay.
Ruggles?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Becker?
Yep.
Becker?
Yes. New business. Now, already went over the new committee, so we'll skip to B and then cross it off. 219-220 budget, you all received a copy of the budget. This is open for discussion. I proposed a few things in this budget. I added, we have a $15,000 grant for our sidewalk work. I added a $20,000 contribution from our monies. Keep in mind, we've got another grant request going out that hopefully will reduce our contribution towards that. I think initially we had about a $54,000 proposal. We got 15 for it. If we can contribute 20, we get roughly 2/3 of that initial proposal accomplished this year, and then we can pursue more of it next year. I also proposed the sewer study, $15,000. I think Gordy Fraser's bid was 12,000 and change, so I padded it a little bit just in case. That will, I suspect, will start probably in January sometime by Gordy Fraser's. Part of our Rising Tide and CDBG monies and project includes the pavilion and the bathrooms down off of the corner of North and Main Street. I am suggesting moving 50,000 from our general fund monies to go towards that project. I'm hoping that will cover any unknowns that are discovered, like possibly an old foundation that's buried on that lot that will have to be removed if we do it. Also, to upgrade our appearance of both structures, bathroom and the pavilion itself. Since it is on the main drag, I would like it to look as nice as possible, presenting a good image as people drive through. I'm also proposing a $15,000 contribution into the DDA budget. I am assuming and hoping, we've talked at the DDA level, that once our branding logo is established, we will be using that logo to develop 4 seasonal banners for the light poles. And I'm assuming $15,000 is going to cover that cost. They still have about $7,300 in their budget left over. We would leave that there, and we'll see what the DDA comes up with for expenses. And I know that they're talking about the farmer's market, reestablishing of that, and whatever else we can use our new space for as it's created. So I'm also proposing, last year I found out from the auditor that village government can contribute to the fireworks. And I was always told up until that point in time that we couldn't do it. But that is one exception where we can contribute to a community function. So I'm offering to contribute $5,000 towards that. Our budget could probably afford more, but I don't want to take away the efforts of the Chamber of Commerce and other community groups who contribute towards that. I don't think we should have to fund all of it. So anyway, about a $5,000 contribution for them this year would do us well.
So $5,000 for the fireworks.
Yep.
And on that 4th of July, we also provide them with the bathrooms too, the porta potties.
Right. This is over and above anything that we've done in the past.
So, Oh, 5,000 we're putting on fireworks in addition to our porta potties. You talked about the pavilion. What, I don't see it on here. I'm probably missing. I don't see, what fund are we taking, or do we make a line item?
So 101.
The 101,
Back of it, and there's a new line that's called Rising Tide.
I see Rising Tide for 50,000, the purple one.
That's it.
So that's Rising Tide / pavilion.
You've got 80,000 there,
There's one later on.
not 50. Oh, there's.
That's why, see, there's,
There's two on this, right?
Yep, all right.
so which one am I?
The 50, yeah,
The 80 was what we have gotten already this year.
right.
All right.
And the 50 is what's being proposed.
So the highlighted purple one is the pavilion, essentially what we're gonna contribute above and beyond to make the pavilion that much better.
Correct.
Am I hearing you correctly? Okay.
Our fund balance is over 300,000.
Fund balance is what, 310?
310.
Yeah.
So I'm spending a little bit of that money.
So,
Again, this is all open for discussion.
well, that's good.
It's just my proposal. So I also, in this budget that you have, I did not address employee raises, and I did add 25% to the salary and the meeting rate for the council. So, again, just my suggestions, and it's all open for discussion. And I told you last month that I would have you a budget to start looking at. Our public hearing for the budget is our February meeting, and so we pretty well have to be secured with it by the end of our January meeting, so.
Let's look at campground, which is like 6 pages from the back. It says campground revenue, left-hand column. Second page of that, 508, 757, 8180. I'll wait till everybody gets to that line.
508, 757, what?
8180.
Contracted services?
Correct.
8180?
Currently, we still have $2,600 that we've not spent. I'd like to roll that $2,600 into next year's budget and get the bathrooms, the 2 older bathrooms, get the showers re-tiled. Hickerson Floor and Tile and Gaylord gave us a proposal for $4,129. These are the same bathrooms that Lyle put the wooden, what do you call it, bath mat? Because the sewer line, the drain line is actually higher now than the shower pan. Since we do have $2,600 left over in that fund, I'd like to add $3,000 to that to get this completed.
So we're looking at a total of 9 instead of 6.
Correct.
Can I talk about, you done, Rob?
I'm all done, that's all I got.
Can I talk about the salaries?
Yep.
Rob and I had a couple discussions today, and we feel that the cost of living for the Social Security people starting in January, the cost of living increase through the federal government is 2.9%. So we're proposing a 3% raise for the village employees. And we felt that the 25% raise was a little bit too much for the trustees. So what we would like to do is, I feel that the president, now that he or whomever is the head of the planning commission also, we felt that the $1,200 a year base wages was very low. We would like to up that to $2,000, and then the $100 per meeting attended. The president pro tem and the trustees, their raise would be just $100 per year on their base salary. Does anybody have any questions on that? So the president would go up to 2,000, and then it would be $100 per meeting attended. President pro tem would be $1,000 per year, $50 per meeting attended. Trustees would be $700 a year and $50 per meeting attended.
One more time on that, real slow.
President
All right.
from 1,200 to 1,800. President pro tem, no, I'm sorry, to 2,000. President pro tem, 900 to 1,000. Trustees, 600 to 700.
Meeting rates are changing, is that what you said?
Meeting rates are not changing.
What were the meeting rates, Brian?
$50 per meeting attended. Those will stay the same.
And the only meetings are these regular council meetings or any special meetings that are called for the whole council. I know that we all sit in other meetings, and it's been suggested that we get paid for those. I guess I'm not quite equipped to agree with that at this point in time.
I feel if say Rob, for instance, would meet Jennifer Hodges up at the tennis courts, or if he would meet Jennifer Hodges down at the campground, if it's pertaining to village business outside the scope of what his monthly responsibility is, I feel that they should get an extra $50.
Or for example, when Lyle had to meet with Art Electric, Rob Silt, on a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. when he should be at his business working, I think he should get paid $50 for being there. I think it sends a strong message, and he's informed with the public, and then it's better that we have him there again, so it's informed.
Well, if it's a committee meeting, say like the Finance and Personnel Committee meets to go over wages or whatever, I don't feel that they should get paid for that.
That's part of our
That's
obligations.
part of our voted-in obligation, but a special meeting, you and Sam meet so-and-so down for the docks, that should be extra. But that's something that,
I agree with that to this degree, in that if you're meeting with someone outside of the council or the workforce pertaining to village business, I say okay, but if you're meeting with Sam down at the lake to discuss something.
Oh, absolutely not,
that's
no.
fine.
Strictly an outside
Just-
contractor.
Yeah, outside contractor, exactly.
Okay. I
and
can-
that's something that Rachel, we will have to communicate with Rachel and say, hey, Lyle Lovelace had a meeting with Rob Silk,
Regarding the lights in town, from what time to what time.
yeah. But to meet with Sam, no.
Like if I have a meeting with the DEQ for the water and I bring the head of the water committee and she should be paid at that point for that meeting.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Does anybody have any complaints on or questions on the wage proposal? just think the village president is doing a lot more work than in the past. Not saying that he didn't do work before, but now that he's head of the planning commission also,
He assumes a lot more responsibility.
a lot of things.
A lot of people don't realize
Time put in.
how busy he is with the village.
And I thank our staff. You've got a good staff that keep me from having to work twice as hard as I do, so I appreciate that very much.
Exactly, I know I don't put the time in that I used to because of Rachel. Now that we have a full-time person in there, Sam and Scott do a great job.
Okay, all of those recommendations will be addressed, and come January, we will put the budget together reflecting that, and we'll have further discussions in January if needed. So, again, the public hearing will be 7 p.m. before our council meeting in the February meeting. And when it's approved, no, it has to be approved prior to March 1st. Our public hearing is January meeting.
We approved it at the February.
April 1st, yes, okay. That was right the first time. February meeting is the public hearing meeting, then we approve in March, so. Okay.
Public hearings prior to our council meeting, when you approve it, council meeting
Right,
in February.
in February. Okay. Item C, new business, new sanding truck. Sam spoke with me yesterday and said we can pull the old pieces together and get by, and today I found out that we really can't do that. So how would you like to explain to all of us that?
What happened was we got a 1992 L8000 that's always had a sander, what they call a slide-in sander in the back of a steel box. Well, we all know that I purchased my salt sand from the county road commission right down here, so I can't empty my truck out at night because I gotta pay for sand. So we leave it loaded, of course, and then when we do empty it out on the road, we take it back to the garage, we hose it out, get it cleaned down, but we run right back down and fill it back up with sand. Well, since 1992, it's had salt sand put in it. The fenders of the plow truck are sitting like this now. Now picture the back of the truck. They're supposed to be like this. They're sitting like this. The bumper that goes across the back of that truck actually goes like this, in a V pattern. What's happened over the last 26 years, the salt sand has took the steel and deteriorated it, and there's absolutely no steel left within the sander. So I said, okay, well, we'll do it in the box. What we'll do is we'll pick the back of the sander up and we'll put our old scraper blades, which are 1-inch thick steel plates, and you know, you wear them down to a certain height and then you have them and you... So what we did is we laid them in the back of the truck. Well, we brought the sander back up and it looked real nice. Then yesterday, or was it yesterday morning? We took it back out, and when we got it back to the shop, them 1-inch plate had rusted through the frame that holds the dump box on, and it dropped right back down. So what I said was, we'll take these bolts off that are on the back of the sander. We have 2 steel props that go up and bolt to the tailgate, where the tailgate would bolt on the truck at. We'll loosen the bolts up. Well, as we loosen the bolts up, the fenders started doing this. The top of the dump box started going like this. There's nothing holding it there. And what I'm afraid of is if I put a ratchet strap on the top and pull it back so it's square, the bottom is going to go like this. So I'm kind of in a catch-22 at this point. That's how bad the rust is on that old sander, on that steel box of that truck. Keep in mind, that truck is caught on fire 3 times. All the air brakes have been burnt. You know, it's done good for this community for 26 years, and I think she's telling us it's tired. And so what I did last year, Rob, was it last year I believe, Rob and me, I started a search for a different plow truck, a used one. A new one's about $170,000. That's off the Michigan My Bid with everything, and then you gotta take it over truck and trailer and get it all put together. So I started a search for a used one, going, why does the village of Central Lake have to spend $170,000 for a new one? Finally, yesterday, I got the new Michigan truck trader, and there was one truck in there that fit the village's needs. So this morning I took off and went down and looked at it. And it's an absolute beautiful plow truck. It's an 05 L8000. It's got 59,000 miles on it. And if you've ever noticed, we buy dump trucks and then we insert a sander into it. The county, when they buy their new trucks, their salt sanding box is built within the truck, the frame of the truck. And it's all stainless steel. Well, this truck I looked at has got the same type of salt box on the bottom, bolted to the box, and what they call it is a live bottom. The whole bottom of the box has a chain, so it augers everything completely out. And then when the salt sand goes down, it no longer sets on anything. You pull it back into the garage, take your garden hose, you hose the frame off, you're all set, salt sand's gone. And this truck had, like I said, 59,000. The gentleman wanted 42.9, I believe.
Where's it at?
Sitting down Buckley. And I just went down and looked at it, and that's all I did, because I didn't want to waste his time, I didn't want to waste my time if it's something this village, if the council is not interested in. I do believe the truck would fit the village's use for the next 15 to 20 years. And in turn, that may allow us to not put the sander back in the truck, the 02 plow truck that we have sitting there, that still looks like it's brand new, because we've never inserted a sander into it. So the 02 truck, if we don't put a sander in it, would last another 15 to 20 years.
The one in Buckley's in 05, it's been a sand truck since 05.
Yep, but it has a stainless steel box on it, and that's the catch right there.
What was the price?
I think I said 42.9, Brian.
How many miles?
59,000. And it's 38,000 GVW, so that might be a L85. I think L8000's 33, 34.
2002?
What's that?
2005.
Yeah, the new one's a 2005, and it's actually a Ford Sterling, but the title comes through manufactured by Truck and Trailer out of Boyne Falls. Because they're the ones that build it, obviously for another road commission.
You think that's really a good buy for us?
Leela, from what I have seen on plow trucks, I've seen a lot of them for $35,000 to $38,000. They got the same box that our 02 truck has, that you don't dare put a sander in because it's going to rust through.
Mm-hmm.
And they're beat right up and they're wore completely out with 190 to 400,000 miles on it.
But this, with a stainless steel box on it, it's gonna make a big difference.
Oh yeah. These trucks, to find them with a dump truck with a belly blade on it, for snow plowing, that's what they're made for. They're about like, you know what, the county's got some trucks here that look like they're gonna fall apart and they're still running down the road. These trucks just don't come up for sale.
I think it'd be a darn good idea for us to do it.
I've been up to the UP, I've been in Detroit, both sides of the state, all over every website I could possibly find looking, and I just couldn't find anything till this one popped up.
Is that price negotiable?
Yeah, I asked him, are you gonna make any deals on it? He said, if you're looking for a warranty, go buy a brand new truck. So I'm thinking no, buy that kind.
Why are they getting rid of it?
Sam, what's the equipment
He
fund?
buys them and rebuilds them, and then puts them out.
The equipment fund's still at 120,
I think the
Mitchell
equipment fund's at 120.
so 43, it brings us down to 77. What other things can break down that we would need, that would really hit our budget, that 77,000?
I can't see into the future that far, Rob. You know, the oldest thing out there would be my pickup at
Your
that
pickup.
point. And my pickup's 64,000. It's still 2 years out from being replaced.
In that 2 years, we would already, we'd have it back up to 100 though.
Because the water truck's a new truck. The loader's a new loader. The 02 plow truck still looks like it's brand new.
Mhm.
The backhoe, we don't use the backhoe that much other than for emergency on water breaks, so it doesn't get used that much. you know, like, the sweeper would be your biggest expense if it went to heck.
Yeah.
And it very well could. You know how that goes. It's a used piece of equipment.
I'd rather see us put money into this deal that you're talking about than putting money into a used one that we've already got, that it'll keep breaking down and breaking down. I just can't see that. 26 years, you said we've had this one?
Yeah, this one's 26 years old.
Man, I think it's ready to put it,
The one I'm talking about, replacement.
I think it's about ready to go.
We paid $17,000 for that stainless steel sander we have in that truck. So I would make a recommendation that we put that truck up, pull the batteries out of it. If we were to buy a different one, take that truck, park it outside, pull the batteries out of it so we can save the batteries. Because there's $400 worth of batteries right there. And leave the sander in that truck, and if we have bugs within a new one that we bought, we could always pull the sander out of that truck, put it into the O2, so that we would actually have a sander to go. So I wouldn't recommend selling the sander in the old truck at that point.
Not really worth much, I don't think.
And the only thing that's worth anything is the sander. Truck's not worth nothing. Truck won't pass the DOT inspection, I can tell you that. That's a fact.
Well, we definitely need a sander.
Yeah.
And the stainless steel is what we would buy. And if we're buying new, we're gonna pay a lot more than 42 or 43.
But as Bill knows, that truck down there is a used truck. Anything can happen.
We need a motion on the floor.
We need a motion to move the sanding truck out of new business into an action item.
I'll make that motion.
Any support?
And then,
And moved and supported to move the new sanding truck out of new business into an action item. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. So we're down to B under action.
Do we have to amend the budget, or not the budget, the agenda?
We're doing that
We're doing-
right
We're
now.
gonna do that right now, okay.
Larry, can I say one more thing before you do anything?
Yeah.
This truck is yellow. All my other trucks are red. I just want you to be aware of it, it's not a red truck. Color doesn't matter to me at this point.
What color's your loader?
Yellow, John Deere. We'll call it matching it.
That goes yellow.
We'll get a John Deere emblem put on it.
It'll fit in the garage, will it not? You
Oh,
won't
yeah.
hit the overhead doors.
Yep, everything will go in, everything will.
then I guess I can make that motion that we purchase this truck for Sam. Get something decent to work with. Okay.
All right, any support to that motion?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Patrick?
Yes. Action item A, approve the zoning ordinance recommendations from the planning commission, ordinance number 3. I believe you all received a copy of this. I believe that this is the only requirement left for the Rising Tide project, other than the pavilion to be built. So it brings us up to speed, which is what they wanted us to do, and because we were doing it, we get to graduate Friday. So, need a motion to approve the zoning ordinance change as recommended by the planning commission.
I'll make that motion.
Been moved and supported. Motion by Patton, seconded by Chapman. And we'll do a roll call.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Patrick?
Yes. Motion is passed. Old business, MML recommendations. This has to do with risk management, is good management. It's a proposal for an operations plan put out by MML. I did not go into the website to look this up. But my read on it is, since they're our insurance company, if we don't follow this, at some point in time, we're gonna pay for that. So, again, it's nothing, we don't have to do anything at this point in time, other than to investigate further what this means to us. It's based on the recommendations that they gave Sam when he toured with him on October 24th or so. And at some point, we've got to tell them that we've adopted that risk management plan, so. And my guess is it's probably a wise thing to do it, in that they're trying to cut costs and have us follow procedures that help keep costs down for liability claims and other claims. So, I think, yeah, they do. Yeah. Bill said that they have a risk management team that will come and recommend things, and they've already made some recommendations.
They've met with all of us.
Yeah, so, and I don't think this is anything that we ought to take lightly. We'll follow the program, but we don't have to make a decision right at the moment either. So I'll investigate a little further before next meeting, and we can discuss it a little bit more. Old business proposal 1, that's the recreational marijuana approval by the voters. It was official as of December 6th. It says that we have to make a decision one way or another within 12 months of its official approval, which was December 6th. So before our next December meeting, we have to make a decision. My feeling is that we let this set for another month anyway, see if some other communities have adopted or not adopted. The attorneys should by then have a pretty good grasp of what is going on and be able to give us advice as we see fit. So, anybody else want to comment on that? You're more than welcome to. But my approach is just to sit back a little bit and let the pieces fall and see where they fall and find out what our attorneys are going to suggest.
Well, nothing can be done in the village within a year anyway.
No, I mean, the state has to give them a license to operate, and that's not gonna happen overnight either. And it's just, I don't think it's anything to panic over. And I don't think if somebody wants to come in and do something, and get a license from the state, and the state's gonna ask them where they're gonna do it at, and they say Central Lake, and they're gonna come back and say, well, you gotta get approval from us. I'm sure that will be followed, that procedure. So, from my perspective, nobody's gonna get away with anything, and let's just see what happens for a month or two, and I'll talk to Brian Graham at that point in time, and he should be up on it and tell us what we ought to be doing, so. Anything else? Public comment? Yes,
I just happened to talk to the village president of Bel Air the other night, the planning commission. I asked him about that because under this law, you guys have the right to pass an ordinance and make it illegal for anybody to have a pot sales operation. The people in the village can have so many plants, they can use it in their homes or whatever, but you can stop it to where somebody's not walking downtown and there's a store selling marijuana. And I think I would talk to your attorney about that, because my feeling is if somebody decides to open up here and you haven't passed an ordinance, you will not stop them.
we have to have an ordinance. What it says at this stage, we don't know. But we do have to pass an ordinance to allow that to happen or not to allow that to happen within 12 months. We understand that part.
You know?
All I'm
So there's a
saying,
year you have.
we have a year from December 6th, when that was last week, it was deemed official.
And I asked the president of Bel Air what their policy is going to be, and said we don't want it.
My guess is that we're gonna have the same policy. But by the same token, if somebody can have it, use it, grow it within the community, what implications does that have? I think somebody wanting to sell pot in one of these small communities isn't gonna make it to begin with. They're gonna end up in the cities where there's a population that can support it. But that's personal opinion.
Whoops.
I just think it's something we need to keep our eye on.
Oh, absolutely, there's no question about that.
How's that going to affect all drugs being used in this village? I know Scott's got a big problem with drugs already. Will that make a difference? Will it make it more difficult for you?
It's been illegal forever, and it's still here, so making it legal,
I hope to be retired before it comes full circle.
He's got to be-
It'll be a nightmare.
Oh, I know, but I'm just wondering if it makes it easier for people to do the wrong thing, or to use the drugs. I don't know, I've got mixed emotions on this.
I know there's some in the police force out in the world that wishes that it was legal because they're tired of dealing with it. That's not Scott, but I've heard others from other areas say that, so.
Alright.
By the same token, you know, it's,
You're gonna find in 5 years that people in the school, medical, and law enforcement are beginning to pull their hair out, so it's gonna be a nightmare.
Probably less than 5 years.
I remember a few years ago when it was medicine that the Indians used.
There's so many different implications of it. It's in the food products, and are we gonna allow food products to be sold? They're headed in gummy bears and kids are, the THC level is so high, it's not like the old pot. It's modern, it's dangerously high.
there's all kinds of implications, but I think we ought to
Sure is.
sit back and listen a little while longer before we go out and pass judgment at this point. That's my,
Maybe cut down the number of times you have to amend it.
Yeah.
stick our foot in the mouth right off. And that would be trouble. Anything else? Bill? You're more than welcome to talk.
I did text my friend Jim Gurr, you know Jim?
Yep.
He's the president of Planning Commission, just asking because we get any kind of proposed zoning changes, we get them from everybody, Larry. All the different municipalities,
Okay.
townships, everything. And Blaine, don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger.
That's all right.
And blame Kevin Elsenheimer, if you want to blame somebody. He drew up the Zoning Enabling Act way back when. But that is part of that law.
Okay.
We can't tell you what to do or not to do. All it is to say there's either a conflict with the county master plan or there isn't. And I think it behooves you to do it because there's some pretty seasoned people on the planning commission, and we've dealt with other issues where somebody's did something and they went back and it bit them in the butt. And you can, get that
All our
information.
ordinances are out online, so you're free to, the planning commission is free to review them at any point in time.
Yeah,
And that's,
I'll ask Pete Garwood, because I'm not the expert on what the procedure is, and it did come back, and Jim told me, I don't understand all the particulars, when the Mammoth was gonna go into Bel Air, remember they approved them? But one of the ways they got out of that was it didn't go by the planning commission. So, I don't know the legal aspects, and you might ask, your lawyer used to work with Elsenheimer, didn't he? So he's probably up on it. But I'll just mention it to Pete. Again, don't get me, I'm not.
yeah, not a problem. But they're free to look at all of them, so I
Right.
mean, it's click of a button, and there we
Right.
are. So
You may be obligated to notify them, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
that's fine. I've never seen anything. I don't think Rachel hasn't heard mine here, so. But if they'd like to see them, that's not a problem.
Right, I don't care.
I understand. Anybody have anything else? So Matt, what do you think of your first village council meeting?
Pretty painless so far.
Motion we dismiss.
Real estate
Time to go.
Time to go. So all in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you all. Did you have a second?
Yeah, looks like.
You didn't hear somebody? I heard somebody second.
Now we have.